Well, 24 games into this shortened season, the Calgary Flames make a coaching change and bring in a familiar face, a man we've seen behind the bench, as well as in the GM position before in the Calgary Flames, Darryl Sutter, who joins us now from Viking. And I know, Darryl, it's probably been a couple of emotional for 24, 48 hours or so. Maybe just take me through sort of what you're feeling as this opportunity started to take shape.
I think I've been talking to Brad for a few days about it and watching the team and quite honest, with COVID, you watch all the games of the Alberta team, so you get a good read on teams and where they're at, and get feedback from Brad, and then obviously this morning with coaches and players still doing the Zoom virtual part of it. So I'm excited to get going. I'm still have to go through the COVID part of it here for a couple of days till I get clear, and then I'll be there.
Well, I'm sure you're itching to get back into the rink, but what have those early conversations been like with the players and the coaching staff, and what are you hoping to get out of those conversations?
Well, not so much get out of it. I think I'm pretty clear on the team and the personnel. I've known three of them, worked with three of them before, in Gio and Michael Backlund and Luch. So, and they're a big part of that leadership group. So, I'm pretty familiar with their team, and obviously from only being out in this conference or the Pacific Division till this year, I'm pretty familiar with the organization and players, and a lot of the management too from being here in the past. So, I have a lot of respect for their team. I think that their season has been quite honest an inconsistent one where they've struggled with that part of their game, but at the same time I think that they have a really good group of players, and so now they have to we have to become a good team. We have to in a hurry. There's only 30 some games left, and you're basically playing every day, or unlike this week where where there's 3 days between, but you're playing a lot of games in a short period of time. You got to be mentally ready and game ready. So that's kind of where I'm at.
In saying that, knowing that there isn't a lot of time to waste, what are the priorities as you come in and when you finally get the opportunity to get hands-on here, on the ice and in games behind the bench?
Well, really, really clear what has to happen for our team to get better is I think we can play a lot faster. I think we can get involved more. I think that there's ways of using guys a little differently that might help. And I think the big thing is just that, the Canadian division is a tough division. It's stacked with stars, and you have to be able to manage that on a nightly basis. And you can't get into a shooting match every night because you're going to end up on the short end, and it might be exciting for player stats, but it won't be exciting in the win-loss column. So, you know what? This team has to get back to that identity, and we'll work really hard at it.
When you say identity, and I know Brad Treliving's laid that out about the hardworking and tough to play against, what are the first steps of accomplishing that? How do you become that team once again that has built this team as identity over the years?
Well, it's rebuilding that identity. That identity has not been there for the last couple of years, I don't think. So, how do you rebuild that, or how do you do that? You do it a shift at a time. It's not like a quick fix or a magic thing. You do it a shift at a time, and a period at a time, and a game at a time, and a player at a time. And so there's lots goes into it. It's not as easy as it looks, but it also, if you can do it as a team, it is easier.
You mentioned the core, the leaders, guys you've worked with before. How much does accountability kind of play into this and that process moving forward?
Well, accountability is very important in every workplace. It doesn't matter. It's not just a hockey game. It's every job, and every time you go to work with a crew, there's accountability. So, hey, there's bosses, and there's foremen, and there's laborers, but everybody's got to be on the same page, and there has to be a common goal. we'll make sure there is.
8 years you spent in this organization, head coach and GM. Of course, you were part of that run back in 2004 and all those good feelings. I mean, how much, as part of this opportunity, do you kind of bring back those emotions and wanting to kind of get back to that spot with this team and bring those feelings back into this city?
Well, one of the reasons that I decided to take this position was, number one, it was Calgary, and we really enjoyed Calgary when we were there, my family and I. And number two is I always felt like I left something on the table there. We lost game 7, 2-1 to win the Stanley Cup, and as great as that was, you still felt like there was something more there. In the back of my mind, and it's always, I've always thought about that, and that was part of the reason I went to Los Angeles. Actually, was because I didn't want to lose in Game 7. I wanted to win it, and now I want to try to do that again with the Flames again.
Can those experiences carry over? Those knowing now that getting that one extra win, as you kind of just mentioned there, but doing it twice, being a Stanley Cup winner, and bringing that experience back in here.
Well, I've been to Stanley Cup Finals 4 times, and I lost 4 straight, and I lost in 7, and then we won 2. So there's no way of explaining that or telling somebody how it was. It's just the feeling that you have, and that you want to do it again, and there's a huge price to pay in it from a personal standpoint. Right through your organization, and that's what we're gonna try and do. I mean, I remember vividly losing in Game 7 in Tampa, and feeling so bad for the players because everything that they'd put into it, and see that they'd left everything out there, and that sticks in my mind. And and also at that time was the owners, and Harley and Doc and Bud are no longer with us, and they were. I really wanted to win a cup for them, and obviously the late Ken King. So hopefully we can do it, and they'll be watching us.
One last one from me, Darryl, and that's just I wanted to ask you about your son, Chris. Well, how did he take the news when you told him you were coming back to Calgary, and share that excitement with him?
Oh, he's ready to go. He started Ring of Fire, just so you know, he could get 20,000 people to stand up and sing it. So
absolutely,
he's ready. He's ready to go.
He's ready to go. Love it. Good to see it. Good to hear it. Congratulations, Darryl, and can't wait to see you back in the rink here soon.
Yeah. See you in a few days.